9mm versus 38 Special Plus P in our compact guns here. And what we have today is our Sig Sauer Elite Defense V-Crown ammunition. Our 9mm is a 115 grain jacketed hollow point. Our 38 Special Plus P is a 125 grain jacketed hollow point. And before you say anything, I get this all the time, people screaming, the 9mm here does not come in a Plus P. This is the only option they have other than like the 124 and 147 grain standard pressure. 38 Special Plus P, this is the only variant it comes in as a Plus P. So that's just how they come. And with 9mm, I've tested the 124 grain recently, and I'm going to use the 115 grain today. But one thing about 115 grain, it's interesting weight because in a sense, when you go with a barrel like this, 4-inch barrel or less, it's kind of inefficient in a way. Yet at the same time, it has less muzzle flip and it has more ability to hit the velocity you need for expansion threshold. So I'm using my 4-inch barrel Ruger Security 9 for our 9mm test and our 3-inch barrel Taurus 856 for our 38 Special. And you know, I'm doing that just because the overall bullet travel in those guns is about the same, because the guns are about the same size, so they equal out pretty good to having a fair way to test those. So I'm going to go through the chronograph, see what kind of velocity and accuracy I get at the same time. Then I'm going to hit my 10% clear ballistic block here. I'm just going to go on the plain clear ballistics and see what the best potential is of these. And after that, I'm going to go into more of a real world simulation where I have 4 layers of denim up here on the first part of this 3-inch block here that represents our pectoral muscle. After that, we'll have a 1/4-inch medium density fiberboard that represents hitting ribs or sternum. That'll be more real world. We'll see how they compare that way. And then I'm going to hit my steel to see what kind of practical accuracy I can get with these. So let's get started with this test. All right, our 9mm is rated at 1185 feet per second. Our 38 Special rated at 900 feet per second. So 4-inch barrel here. Let's see how close we get to 1185 feet per second. I'm about 5 yards from the target, 4 yards from the chronograph. I'll read. These seem to be shooting a little high for me. 1176, 1186, 1187, 1178, 1183. So very consistent velocity. That first shot just was probably just me because I haven't shot that firearm in a long time. So 38 Special rated at 900 feet per second. Let's see what we get in my 3-inch barrel. 977, 882, 914, 912, 955. Let me run one more. 915. So not quite as consistent, but we did get overrated velocity, and typically that's the 4-inch barrels. That's a 3-inch barrel. Case ejection's good. I did notice the 38 had nickel-plated cases. The 9mm did not. So let's hit our ballistics gel block with these and see what we get. All right, let's do our best potential. Plain clear ballistics, 9mm. All right, let's hit that with our 38 Special now. All right, looks like I caught that, so let's go take a look. All right, so this is interesting. This is where it's sometimes hard to see what's going on, especially with that 38. I can see the bullet in there, but I have absolutely no idea if there's expansion or not. There probably is, but I really can't tell. I can see it with the 9mm though, and we had a good penetration of 13 inches and we got some expansion. Looks like we do have some pretty good expansion right away and a lot of cutting going on, so that's pretty good. I noticed with the 124 grain, it did seem to have expanded quicker in the gel than most 9mm. A 38 Special does look like it expanded, but it looks like it expanded smaller and just kind of trucked along. We went to right here about 17¼ inches. Looks like it did a lot of damage. So let's put on our MDF and put on our denim and see how they compare that way. All right, so we have our 4 layers of denim and our 1/4-inch medium density fiberboard. Set it with our 9mm. Let's try our 38 now. All right, 38 Special. Let's go take a look. All right, so we can see something going on here when we just take a look here at our medium density fiber board. We can definitely see that our 9mm continue to expand right away. Our 38 special is not right away after going through that denim. So a little bit of hollow point clogging with that denim going on with that 38 special. And the hollow point design was a little bit different. But what we have here with our 9mm, it looks like we have some expansion. We're right here at about 19 3/4 inches penetration. Not too bad overall. Our 38 special, we have a lot of damage in there for some reason. We can definitely see though, that's probably caused by tumbling because I don't see any bullet expansion. We're looking at about 21 inches of penetration. So not bad. You know, that's one of those hollow points where it slows the bullet down without expanding. It does better than like a full metal jacket, but we didn't really get any expansion. So I'd say overall, I would say our 9mm is a little more consistent here. So let me share a steel, see what kind of practical accuracy I can get with these. All right, here's a close-up look at these bullets. Here's our 9mm. We have fantastic expansion. That looks really good. And going through our MDF, you know, you can see right here that the way they have these pellets designed, the copper is kind of separate from the lead. So that kind of allows for that thing to expand regardless. I don't think denim could really clog that because it's got a little tiny hole, and I think that little tiny hole is just meant to open up, you know, the hollow area. So it did really well. Now when we look at our 38 special, it's designed differently. It's designed kind of like a traditional hollow point. Got good expansion through our plain gel, but when we went through our MDF, we did not. You know, just a basic hollow point cavity here. So both of these did pretty good. Our length of our bullet's long enough here that it really started to tumble. That did a lot of damage. You know, a tumbling bullet is wider than a hollow point. So when it's tumbling through there, that's why you see all that massive damage. And with a hollow point like that, you know, even though it didn't expand, unlike a full metal jacket, you know, it seems to kind of fill up and kind of cause the bullet to just slow down with pressure by filling up that hollow point with pressure and all that. So overall, it didn't do bad, even though it doesn't look that good. But our 9mm across the board, a little bit more consistency with barriers in mind. So both did fine. Our 9mm did a little bit better. So there's a close-up look of those bullets. All right, so I'm really curious as what we'll get at 25 yards. I think that's a pretty good distance just for judging the accuracy. So 38 special, let's see what this will do. All right, it does look like it's impacting a little bit left most of the time, and I've known that about this revolver. It seems to shoot left. Wow. I'm aiming center mass. Let me aim off the target to the right. Let me go for a headshot. I'm going to aim about 8 inches to the right. I must have fired them all. All right. Let's try our 9mm, see how this shoots. I'll aim a little bit higher. Let me go for a headshot. So what I'm seeing here, honestly, for 9mm, this is really, really stout feeling. You know, most 9mm, even in this barrel, in this Ruger Security 9 4-inch barrel, this feels very, very, very light. But that ammo, it just feels like a plus P plus or something. It's really interesting. And I'm not just thinking that because it's not just in my mind, because I'm also shooting 38 special today from a gun that's only 23 ounces, and it's a plus P. And generally, even when you have more energy with the 9mm, your 38 will still have more felt recoil. But this had a lot less felt recoil. This had significant felt recoil, which was kind of interesting overall. So what we're seeing here, ballistic performance-wise, both did pretty good. There's nothing really fantastic here. I'm not seeing anything that's like better than anything else. The 38 special, compared to most other 38 special, that's pretty good, maybe a little better, because our energy was better than a lot of rounds I've tested. With our 9mm, it did better than our 38 Special, but in terms of 9mm, it wasn't particularly great performing, but it did okay. So I'm gonna say both of these are acceptable. You know, I'm not gonna brag about the fact that I'm carrying Sig V-Crown. If I was, like, it's the best ammo out there, but it's okay. So that's what you get today. So as always, comment, share, and like, and thanks for watching.